And welcome to Teach Start, and today we're going to be looking at whether you should share a lot about your personal life or whether you should not share a lot about your personal life in teaching, and how do you go about not sharing your personal life in teaching. Now, this is something that I always get, this is something I've always been asked about by students of, have you got a girlfriend, etc, etc. And it's really nice sometimes to be asked kind of personal questions. It's not necessarily a negative thing. It's students being curious and wanting to get to know you. But I think teachers, including myself, haven't really ever considered what they're willing to share and what they're not willing to share. And I think it's something that, after watching this video, I want you to have a think about is, what things do you want to share with your students? What things are appropriate to share with your students? Now, we've talked in previous videos about, not sharing that Friday night out of getting, completely drunk or anything like that, because it doesn't show you as a positive role model. And whatever you may think, you are a role model to the students, every single student you teach. But it's when you're talking about girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, children, things like that, it's not as easy as just saying, oh no, don't share anything. I've seen really positive kind of sharing going on in teaching where, teachers draw on experiences they've had to kind of demonstrate a lesson. And I really don't think that's a bad thing. We are not robots. I know some of the younger students believe that we, live at the school and we don't ever go out shopping, and if they see us around town they're shocked and they're, oh my goodness, wow, you're not in school. But I want you to have a reflection about what it is you want to share and what the purposes of sharing it is, because I have seen some teachers share way too much, in my opinion, way too much stuff with their students, and it ends up being kind of a chat about that rather than the lesson that's at hand. I try not to delve too deep into my personal life, like some surface level stuff. I'm wearing a wedding ring, so therefore I'm married, etc, etc. It's fine. Talking about kids, yeah, fine. I don't mind them knowing that whether or not I have kids and how many. But beyond that, I try and draw a line and say, well, actually, nothing further. And I think it's really important to know where your line is, and just to say to the students, actually, let's not talk about that. It's all about me. No, this is all about the subject. Let's go back to the subject. And mostly when students are asking those questions, they respect that line as long as you know what the line is, and as long as it's not kind of a moving line that every lesson you're willing to share too much or too little or whatever it is. Try and evaluate where your line is and try and keep to that between lessons. And it can be really nice to just reveal a few things about yourself. The things that I would definitely share without a question is hobbies. Like, I like football, and suddenly that can create a conversation. I like F1, I like rugby. That can create a conversation. Did you watch the rugby last week? Oh, it was really good. That can be a really positive thing to start a lesson off with. And as the students are walking in, oh, did you watch the rugby? Or understanding what football teams they support. And, oh, I saw that your team won at the weekend. Or, oh, well, actually, I think, your team could be doing a little bit better, maybe. Maybe that's not the way to start a lesson. But the students, and you get to know them, and you get to understand what things to ask them, and it's a really nice thing to not only expect them to open up, but open up a little bit yourself, but have that reflection time before the lesson. Understand what it is you're willing to share. Some teachers don't like sharing what football team they support because they've had negative experiences where someone supports Tottenham Hotspur, the other person supports Arsenal, and it starts to be a kind of toxic thing. But equally, I've seen some teachers support opposing teams to their students, and it'd be a really positive thing and something to laugh about and something to sort of relax the lesson a little bit at the start of the lesson. But your groups, where they can draw the line, where they go too far, and you think, oh, should I have revealed that self about me with that group, or should I just move on the conversation? But try and have that discussion with yourself before you even walk into the first lesson with them, and figure out what it is you're willing to share about yourself. And don't believe some people who say never ever reveal anything about yourself. No, our students are beyond that. We're beyond Victorian classrooms, and I think that it's a really positive thing. Just to, like in some schools, I know the students are kind of really focused on their learning and really kind of knuckle down on their work, and they're really focused on getting their grades. But you can still reveal a little bit about yourself, just to kind of add that to the mix and have a bit of a more relaxed relationships at times with the students, rather than pretend to be this kind of robot and increase the detachment from them. You need to kind of find yourself a balance of what it is that you're willing to reveal. Obviously, if there's things that you believe that are controversial, then really have a think about whether it's appropriate for you to share them. But just general stats about yourself. And this sort of follows on from a video I did about Facebook. I think, and I absolutely genuinely believe, that you should never reveal yourself on Facebook. On Facebook, I barely use it, but on Facebook, I don't have the same name as my surname. I've changed my surname to a similar one, but so that students can't look me up. And I think that's something that all teachers should do. Is make themselves completely undiscoverable. I think there's options in Facebook that you can make yourself not discoverable, but I never trust that Facebook are going to keep those the same, because Facebook like money, and I think there's money to be had by finding friends of friends of friends, etc., etc. So I've just changed my surname. It will never be an issue, and I've never had a student add me at all in all my years of teaching. So that's something that maybe you need to look into, or maybe have a secondary account or something. I don't know how Facebook work in changing your name, but maybe change your surname to something similar. But that's not what the discussion is today, and I hope you find this video useful. If you do, then please click like, and please feel free to add comments or ask questions, because I'm hoping this channel becomes a two-way channel rather than a channel of me kind of picking the topics. I want you guys to pick the topics for, the next few weeks would be really, really good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to see more from us, please click subscribe. We release videos every single weekday at 5 o'clock in the evening. Thank you.